Virginia Bushcrafter here. Let's see who's in the house. No one so far. Hot day, but it's been a fun day. Wow, I really need to clean my glasses, man. We've been threatened with rain all day, but it hasn't rained. We got some drizzling earlier today for maybe 10 minutes, but we got a lot of rain last night. And when I got here this morning, the ground was wet. It's still somewhat wet, but a lot better. So, I just want to see if anyone's coming in to chat with me before I pack up. Hey, Badass Stain, how you doing, man? I'm doing well, brother. Salute to you as well. How's that fast Mustang running? Yeah, I'm just out here in the bush, man, practicing all these wonderful skills. Even though it's warm, made me a nice fire. Made some tender, and just practicing some skills. You know, you want to practice these skills until they just become muscle memory. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's still on the operating table. Okay. Yeah, man, I know how those race cars can be. Even though I've never actually done any racing. My brother did, and that car stayed on the table as well. It's called money. I called it a money pit. But let's see if I can turn this down just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, I'm out here hoping to keep my cell phone connection going on here. But you may see me doing a lot of wiping, but it's still necessary to come out here and practice all these skills, even when it's hot or when it's cold. And that's what I'm doing. Just kind of trying to keep track of, let's see how many's in here so far. Been in here almost 3 minutes, just you and I so far. I truly enjoy it. And I'm glad you do, man. I'm glad you do. You know, I try to keep my content real. You know, if I say something, I want to be able to show it. And the only way to show it really is by coming out into the bush. This is the second time I've been at this location, and what's so strange is that I'm 20 miles north of where I used to go, and the soil, man, it's really hard. And so today, man, I brought my cold steel shovel out. You know, it's like I wasn't going to be messing around digging a fire pit, but I even sharpened the edges. You know, in the military, used this as a throwing tool as well, as a defensive tool. But I like it because this handle is hickory, and if it were ever to break, hey, G Mama Grows, how are you doing? If this handle was ever to break, I can just get another piece of green wood, take my multi-tool, put these in, and I'm good to go. How you doing, G Mama Grows? Yeah, G Mama Grows has a very nice garden. And I wish I had time to do that, you know, but it's just only so many things that you can do, you know. Yeah, so yeah, but I'm just out here, man, just because my intent today was to come out here and just set up this shelter and harvest wood all day long for a future overnighter. But the weather didn't work out, and it's really hot. What's so strange, it can be hot during the day, and then at night it goes down to like 40, 45 degrees, And even if you're going to come out here during the daytime and plan on staying overnight, you gotta harvest that wood because temperatures always go down in the woods. Um, so I think what I'll have to really do is when I get ready to do an overnighter, just come out here about 6 o'clock in the morning, set up my shelter, have a lot of snacks, a lot of water, and just harvest, just saw and split wood because I don't think anything could be as worse as running out of wood about 4 o'clock in the morning. That happened to me once, and I had to go saw some wood. Luckily, I had some large wood at my campsite, so I just brought it in and saw it. And let me show you this saw. I don't even feel like getting up, but let me get it. Okay. Yeah. I did very little sawing today, but a saw that is a beast. This they say is Agawa or Agawa, Agawa. So it can be Agawa or Agawa, but this thing is a beast, man. This thing has a hey Orlando Prepper, how you doing, man? I'm glad you could join me. I'm just showing off this beast of a saw here. Look at those teeth. This is the blade on this is known as a Sydney Ranch 2, and this is 24 inches. But I use it very sparingly today. Yeah, and it breaks down really easy. Just just there you have it. So it breaks down really easy. You can put it together. And so I didn't use this a lot, but what I did today, I did harvest some fat wood. I went to this tree over here, cut 3 pieces of wood, and the fat wood is right between the trunk and the branch. So I cut that. Then I used this Becker BK9. This is another beast, man. This Becker BK9. I think this is like a 9.5 inch blade. And I scraped some fat wood dust. I still have some fat wood on here. I'll clean it. I was about to ask how you carried that beast. Well, this has an awesome sheet. Well, I have a sheet for this. Let's see. This is the sheet that I carry. This actually, let me just show you real quick. I have my axe in here as well. I didn't use the axe today at all, but this right here, I'll show you the axes in here. Here's the axe. I didn't use it today, but the axe goes in here, and the saw goes and I just fasten it. Yeah, I always have to really prepare like the night before. Fasten this down, and to really secure it, this goes underneath here. And this goes for this up. And this goes on the side of my rucksack. So, yeah, this is what I carry. I carry this with me. I really, like I said, I didn't use the axe today. I did use this a lot. And I brought, as a matter of fact, I brought the exact same tools out here last time I was here. And what's so strange is that I didn't use the axe where I used it last time. Last time I didn't use this a lot, but I used it a lot today. Um, and I had an anvil shovel with me. You should post association link to those. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna do that. Um, when I make the video, I'm gonna put the link to all of these tools. And but this this shovel, I've used a lot of entrenching tools, but I'm gonna put this back in my sheath so there's no accident. I don't want to have to use my first aid kit. Okay, the knife is sheathed, but let me just make sure that it snaps. Okay. Uh, last time I was out here, I used an anvil. Uh, excuse me, anvil shovel. It was okay, but there's nothing like this cold steel. Now I've used a lot of those that fold and so forth, but I'll tell you those are good. The ones that the military use are very very heavy. I would not. That's something that you would carry in a jeep. Um, yes, please hit the like button. But I'll be honest with you. Those other shovels that I've used that fold and so forth, they work for a while, but anything that has a lot of joints in them of movement, sooner or later, they just don't work as well. So, but this is one reason you come out and you practice with your tools, because then you find out what really works. Let's see. What you is that Brooklyn Girl? I think that's Brooklyn Girl. How you doing, Maggie? Hey, thanks for coming in, Maggie. I definitely appreciate it. So I'll tell you this: um, when you're using your tools, I want tools that don't have joints. I don't. I carry a folding knife. I carry this folding knife in my pocket. Now this is nothing but a $10 gas station knife that just won't. It won't break if you use it how you're supposed to. Um, yeah, it's good to see you too, Maggie. Um, I wish I. Anyway, let's talk about this. I'm just talking about my tools right now. This is good for like cutting rope and so forth. But when I come to the bush, fixed blade is the way to go. This just is like if I want to cut some rope real quick or something like that. But I tell you, when coming to the bush, I have a checklist, and it's the 10 C's, and you always make sure. Like the night before, I'm thinking, okay, cover. I got a nice tarp. If I was staying out here all night, I got a nice tarp. I got a bedroll, a foam bedroll to lay on, and I got my clothes here. And I do have some more clothes in my car, but I can tell you now, I'm not walking 200 yards to go get some more clothes. I mean, listen, it was an emergency. So I always have my cover. And then, okay, in order for me to put this up, I have to have cordage. So I always make sure I got cover, I have cordage, and when you get to the bush, you definitely are going to need a fire. Now, how are you going to start that fire? You're going to have combustion, which is going to be a ferrocerium rod, matches or lighter, bow drill, flint and steel, plow drill. You're going to have some type of combustion. You're going to have a container, which I have my Nalgene container. I do have a metal cup, and your cutting tools. Now, your cutting tools can be just one item, or it can be multiple items. For example, I have a hatchet, I have this knife, I have a saw, I have a multi-tool. Hey, Lee, how are you? I have a multi-tool. So those are my cutting tools. So, and then this can be a cutting tool because I was cutting roots with this today. So That's 5 things right there that I go over every time before I come to the bush. And then I go to the second set of fives, which is making sure the candle, which is headlamp, my headlamp. And then I always have batteries, but I always carry another one with me. This is just another little headlamp. And of course, my whistles on it. So I have a headlamp. Uh, when they also say cotton, which can be a bandana. You can use this for first aid. You can use it. Um, let's see, like the one I've been using all day, like just wiping the sweat off of me. So bandana is the cotton. Then I have you got to have cargo. What's your cargo? My cargo is my gorilla tape, and I use it often. Um, and then after that, let's see. Compass. Always, always, always a compass. Here's my compass, and I have it lanyard to my belt. This is my compass. And even though I know the way out of here, I'll practice because I came in at 50 East, and I know I'm going to go out at Southwest 230. I came in 50, let's see, what's this? It says, be for sure here. Yeah, I came in at 50 Northeast. I'm leaving at 230 Southwest. Always a compass. And lastly, a canvas needle. Now, you know what? You may say, why would you need a canvas needle in the bush? Well, I used a canvas needle last night. I took some bank line, number 18 bank line, and you can twist it apart. And I used that to stitch up something on my gear because I just did not want to walk up 3 flights in at home, go to my closet, get a little sewing kit. It's like I have a canvas needle right here, and I have number 18 bank line. So you can unthread the bank line somewhere over there. Unthread the bank line, put it through the canvas needle, and you're good to go. So though that is my checklist. When I come out here, I go through all 10 items to make sure I have that. And now another thing, you hear a lot of people say, my bag is only 25 pounds. My bag is only 35 pounds. I'm glad to say that I was at a location last week and I met a guy who does a lot of hiking. And he says that his bag is usually 25, 30 pounds. But and he did the Appalachian Trail and he used a hammock and so forth. And when I was talking to him, he said, yeah, as a bushcrafter, he said, as a true bushcrafter, your bag is always going to be 45 pounds or more. And you're not going to go hiking 10 miles a day, and so forth. But with that bag, usually I come in maybe 200 yards because once you get in 200 yards, who knows where you are? I can still hear cars and so forth. But it to me, when coming out here, it's all about practicing because I can't practice this in a state park or backyard. I mean, state parks can be okay, but then they provide you with a fire ring and you have to buy their wood or bring their wood. You can't cut down any trees or anything like that. So the place to really practice, hey, Tomcat, hey, you're never late, my man. But the place to practice is actually coming out here in the bush, putting in the dirt time. Now, I do all this practice like, will I ever use it? I don't think there'll ever be a situation that I have to come out here and do it. But you know why I do it? Because it's a challenge. It is a true challenge. It's just like the challenge now, again, this is the second time I've been here, and I just really want to get acclimated. But again, I found out the soil is very hard here, very hard. And I'm going to come to this exact location because there's good foliage. Even if it rains, my fire is going to be protected. But I think when I do an overnighter here, I'm going to use a one Tiger's bug net Um, or either I'm going to make a hammock. I've made hammocks before, just with wood and rope, uh, and sometimes I've used like debris bags and so forth. Add a Q&A, weirdest complaint received. Add a Q&A sticker. I don't know. I don't know about all this technology. Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you love this channel, my man. Harlem, I'm glad you love this channel because I like to keep it real. You know, I'll tell you something else. I watch a lot of videos and you see things happen real quick. For example, if you watch an hour video, you'll see a lot of things happen. I've been here since, let's say, 9 o'clock this morning, and I just finished eating. By the time you set up your shelter, go get wood, process the wood, make the fire, cook your meal, because cooking is a skill in the bush. You know, the most important thing is not spilling your water. So you have to be good at making your pit, arranging the wood and so forth. Now I have grills at home that I could have brought with me, but it's like I'm not bring. I try to bring as least amount of man-made equipment as possible. Of course, my man-made knives I have to have. Always, I'm glad you love the videos. Always something to learn to think about. Channel is great because you bring a lot of great ideas and put them in. Yes, I mean I think that's the only way. Learn by doing. You're gonna make mistakes, but you know what now? Like this morning when I got out here, it's like so much of this stuff is just muscle memory. Like I can remember when I first learned how to do a bow line. I'm at home trying it, doing the bow line. It just and then you get the theory like, hey, the rabbit comes out of the hole, you twist this, the rabbit comes out of the hole, it goes around the tree, it goes back into the same hole, you got your bow line, and the trucker's hitch, and your God, I couldn't think of this knot that I did earlier today. Um, oh, you got your Prusik knot. So you start learning these knots just by doing them. Um, I'm trying to think of that knot. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. As a matter of fact, well, I can't Google it right now, but you just start learning these knots, and they become second nature. Another knot that's really good to learn is the arbor knot or the Canadian jam knot. That's when I make my hammock, I'm going to use the wrap and frap knots, but then I'm going to go over it with a Canadian jam knot. And you don't have to worry about anything coming loose with those two knots. But you know, the only way you just really learn this stuff is by coming out. But as I was saying, you watch a lot of shows and you see things happen quick. It's really not quick. One thing is just like these two poles I have on the side. I had to go hunt for those. You don't find straight poles. Um, but you know, I had to go in one direction to get this one. Then because the wind was so strong, this one is a green. I'll just show you. That one is a green limb. This one over here is a deadwood. But the thing about it, the green, you're not supposed to cut down anything green. But we've had heavy winds and it was just blown over. Let's see, put this back. It was just blown over. So I used that. It was on the ground, basically uprooted. So I used that. But I think the it's just I think it's just important if you're serious about bushcrafting, just get out here as much as you can. Luckily, I'm able to get out at least once a week. Not, I mean, I try to get out at least once a week. Um, I think I may average maybe 3 times a week, 3 times a month or something like that. But yeah, you just got to get out here, man, and just enjoy it, embrace it, and so forth. It's a lot of fun. But you know, like I said, you know, I go over the 10 C's. Um, they're implanted in my head. And also earlier I was talking about the weight. What a lot I've known, and I suggest that when you're weighing your gear, don't forget the water and the food. That adds a lot of weight to your rucksack. Now, today, I only brought, let me see, 64. I brought 64 ounces of water, and this, I think this is 16 or 24. And the fire is basically out, so I'll use the remainder of this water to make sure that fire is out. But there's a place here that's fortunately to source water. You're not going to source the water that's underneath the bridge. I would have to go to a different further. Let's see, that would be further east, further south here to go to this creek to source water, and that's at least about a mile away. So eventually, I'm going to go there and do some bushcrafting just to source the water. I'm even thinking about going this week. I like to fish and do some night fishing, and I'm just going to source the water right out of the lake. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a dirty cup for the water that I'm going to collect. I'm going to filter it, then I'm going to boil it, and then I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to run it through the grill, and then I'm going to add aqua tablets. I'm going to do that to really see how purified I can make that water. Of course, now I'm going to be out there all night fishing, and I'm actually going to be fishing to feed people. That's going to be the title, fishing to feed, because I just like giving all that stuff away to individuals who don't work or not able to work. I just give it to them. And something else I had to make today was I had to do this mallet to put my tent pegs in because they were so hard. But this piece of wood is known as muscle wood. That's going to be a cool. Yeah, I can't wait to do it. I want to do it like this week, but and then I actually want to take where I'm taking the fish. I'm going to take it to the lady's house. I know she doesn't want to be on camera, but and another thing, I had never filleted any fish until I watched this one video. This guy named Rob Outdoors. I saw the way he was filleting that fish. So now I'm gonna go and try it. I mean, that fish was boneless because since I'm giving the fish away, I would just remove the head, remove the tail, remove the fins, cut them up, and just give them away. Hey, and they still enjoyed them, but it's just something else I want to learn. But this had to be my mallet today, my baton, because as I mentioned, this ground is really hard, and I'm only 20 miles north of where I used to go. So how can the dirt be that much of a difference? But I managed to get this not far from here, and I saw it here. So I'm thinking about when I leave, I'm just going to stash it here. I'm not going to take it with me. And like those two poles, I'll stash them here as well. And the thing is, I don't worry about someone coming here to get it because this is public land. But the thing is, where I am now, I can tell things have really changed, or either I did not know. When you use a wildlife management area in Virginia, you must have a hunting license or a fishing license. If you don't have either one of those, you have to go online and purchase a permit to use the property. And I think it's like $4. But if you're coming to do some bush crafting and you're going to be back into the bush, you have to get a special permit. That permit runs for 14 days, whether you want to use it for one night or 2 nights. It's for 14 days. On the 15th day, you have to take a break and you can re-register for another 14 days. So the permit that I just got yesterday is good until July the 10th, which means I can't come to a wildlife management area on the 11th of July, but I can start that cycle again on on the 12th of July. So it's pretty good freedom, to come out here and be able to do this. But yeah, guys, I just This I can tell you, man. And also in this area, I something I've never carried before, but in this area, I carry this with me. Bear spray. They're known for bears here. Now, with this bear spray, according to the directions, I will only get 5 seconds, a 5 second blast. And you aim this. This is the safety. Just remove the safety stream. You got to go cook dinner. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate you coming in anyway. Enjoy that meal. But this is the bear spray that when I started coming here, it's like they give you a heads up about bears. So you have this. You just remove this. There's a way you move this. So this is what I carry in this area, and I'll always continue to carry this, even if I go to another area. So, but they say this is good like for 30 yards, and I don't ever want to have to try and find out. But what I have to find out is like how long is this really good? After a year, I don't know, but yeah, this is what I carry in this particular area. So even though I have a walking staff with me, I don't want any bear coming within 30 yards of me. So it says 30 yards. So hope I never have to use it. But when I think it expires, I'm just going to spray it all. Now you can also use this for coyotes, raccoons, or any other animal, but I wouldn't even waste it on an animal like that. I'd just use my my walking staff. This thing is I think about 8 feet. This is really if you're gonna hunt boars, but these two knobs right here, this one and this one, that's to prevent. There have been many more bears encountered as of late. That's true, um, man. And I'm not taking a chance. I'm gonna do everything I can. Well, this is to keep your target from rising above here. And this is double bladed. But this is really for boar hunting. But I use it as a walking staff. And so when I came in today, I had the bear spray in one hand and my walking staff in the other hand. But just as a precaution. But yeah, I've been reading a lot. I think, where was it? I want to say there were 5 people mauled. Was it the Grand Canyon or Yellowstone Park? I don't know, but they were grizzly bears. Um, hey, thanks. And I have another one. Now. When I purchased this one, it just came with the spear. It just came with the spear, and I bought this is a closet rod, and you can see I had to do some work here. I cut this down here so that it would fit in the sheet properly. But yeah, man, this thing using a walking staff, man, it is a lot of help. And even just using trekking poles. But the other one that I have, it's double edged as well, and it came with an 84-inch ash handle. Now, if you know anything about ash, that's a very hard wood. So which one I take, it just whichever one is closest to the garage door, and that's the one I take. Now my other one, it did not come with a sheath. It just came with something to put over on the tip. But this one came with a sheath, but the sheath is in the car. Because what good is this going to do me if I need it and the sheath is on it? So, yeah, but the thing is, it's taller than me. if I'm ever to fall or anything, I know I will be able to push it forward away from me. So, and with it being at least a foot taller than me, I feel pretty safe. I had one that was about my level, but I took that one apart and just used a knife, basically as a survival knife. But the thing is, I do like cutting tools, and I like to experiment with them. And I'm to the point now that I don't see any need to purchase any more cutting tools. I mean, I have a lot of cutting tools, cookers, and everything, but you still see all these very nice knives, and but I will say this: knives make a difference, but that knife is only as good as the person that is using it, your experience, your skill level, and so forth. Um, Practically with any knife, you should be able to do 90% of everything. Like with this knife, uh, do I have? Oh, it's in my rucksack. I have a Scandinavian knife, Scandin, Scandi knife with me. I didn't even use today because that Scandi grind is really good for making feather stick. But I was able to make them. I was able to make them weird noises. I was able to make them with this blade. So I think with any knife, you should be able to do the basics. And I like knives that are very large. When I come to me, a knife that is, let's say, 4 to 6 inches, I consider that small. 7 to 10 is large. Anything over 10 inches is a chopper. Now this is 9.5, but I consider this to be a chopper. I can chop down a tree with this. And I always put lanyards. KP, how you doing, man? Yeah. Original packing, okay. Um, yeah, and I always use a lanyard because I can put with making sure that the spine is facing me. I can just put my thumb in here, turn my hand where I have these core locks on here. And if you see, I have a knot on each end, so it's never going to come loose. But I just put my thumb through here, twist it, and it's right in my hand. And all I have to do is just take one tab, and now it's tight. Now that's one way of gripping your knife. Also, you can also use another method by putting it this over here, and you have a loop, and you can just put your hand through that loop, and it's not going to come off. But that's not my preferred way. My preferred way is having it, again, the spine facing me, thumb in here, just twist your hand, and there it is. And just either one, and you're good to go. So, yeah, but again, a lot of this stuff, it becomes second nature, but I think it's important to really just come out and just use it. And also with the sheath that's attached to my belt, under the sheath I have zip ties. You never know when you're going to need a zip tie. Zip ties under the sheath here. And a lot of times on my other sheets, I carry paracord. I think it's always good to have more paracord than less. So, and another thing, it's like even with this, if I need paracord in emergency, I can use this paracord, or I can use paracord again that's on my axe. I can use that paracord. But I always have more paracord than less. But yeah, this is I mean, it's really really challenging. I was watching Alone the other night. Now that's a challenge. Will I ever try it? No way. Um, what they go through. I think I forgot what season, but the guy stayed out there 79 days, or I don't know. I know one guy, Zach Brown, stayed out there 86 days. I met fairly um, Carly Fairchild. She was a runner up. I've met Alan Kay. He won it the first season. Greg Owens, he was on there. I've met some of a fair amount of people that have been on the loan. Um, well, hey, She Devils, how are you? I don't know. Well, see, this is the issue. I don't eat meat, so I would have to be a superior forager, but they basically live off meat, fish. Um, and this one guy, you can take 10 items. He took it, I think it was a recurve bow. He took that and he was able to get grouse. Can you imagine a bird with a bow and arrow? He was able to do that. Um, so, you can't take any firearms, anything like that, but you get to take 10 items and they really survive. I mean, they go out there, they make their shelter, their permanent shelter. Um, yeah, you're more than welcome, Matt. But they make their own shelter and everything. And, I try to watch as much as I can because this is like bushcrafting to me. It's like you're chasing something it just keeps going and going and going. There's like no end to it. It's a journey. There's no destination. For example, oh, I completed the course. I did, because there's always something to learn. So, I know I'll be doing this until I can't do it anymore. Um, and I try to go to a lot of events. I was at an event last week in Clarion, Pennsylvania, and it was it was called the Creators Rendezvous. I did a video on that and I did a live on that. Go back and check it out. But it was a lot of fun. But one thing that I took away from that, and I have to try it, is the volcano egg. The host of the freezer bound outdoors actually took an egg, put a little hole in it, and put it in the fire, not directly in the flames, but in the coals for about 20-25 minutes. Came out, he had an egg. It could have stayed in there a little longer, but can you imagine doing that? And it was so intriguing to me that I have to try it. And I was in a fishing derby also. Man, I had been waiting 365 days for that fishing derby because the first year I had landed a fish, it got away, it flipped back into the water. When I got this fish, I made sure I got it up on the land, up on the bank. I stood in front of it and I put my hand in the mouth even before I took the hook out. It's like, I'm not losing this one. But there are some pretty good fishermen there, and you learn a lot. Fishing is not just tossing something in the water waiting, but it's agitating the bass, knowing the depth of the water, fishing at the bottom, fishing at the top, or fishing in the middle. You learn all these things. It was really really fun. The fire challenge. Now, for example, last week when I entered the fire challenge, I think I started the fire just over 1 minute or something like that. So I won that round. The next night, I was like fourth. So, but I make fires all the time. But the good thing about that fire challenge is learning how to make a fire quickly. Now, when I made this fire today, even though I know the wood is wet, just by having some fat wood, I knew it was not going to be a challenge whatsoever. With splitting that wood, using that fat wood, and I found some birch. It It wasn't paper birch, but I found some birch bark. I put it on top of the birch bark because birch, it'll burn even if it's wet because it has a lot of oil in it. But I wanted to make that fire strictly from nature, which I did, with the exception of using a ferrocerium rod. But which I always use a ferrocerium rod, or I use the flint and steel. I was going to use flint and steel um, last night when I was getting everything ready, but it was raining so hard, and I said flint and steel is really effective by moisture in the air because you have to go get cedar, and I'm sure there's some cedar around here somewhere, but you got to get some cedar, make a tinder bundle. And I said, with all the rain, I'm not going to get any dry cedar, so I left that at home. But I think it's good to try different ways of making fire. All of the tinder that I use is basically fat wood, birch bark, and cedar. In my area, that's basically what I use. You can also use what do they call it, thistle or milk seed or milkweed. Um, what's the other one? Cottontail. But the thing I look at the cottontail and the thistle, they go up so quick. I don't want something to go up so quick that I have to rush and throw my uh, kindling on there. So again, in this area, basically what we have is fat wood, birch bark. If you have the paper thin birch bark, that's the way to go. And then the cedar bark. Cedar bark, good. You can also use dry leaves, but you want to get leaves off the top. Like all of these leaves, they're wet, moisture. So if you were dependent on these leaves, it wouldn't work. They're all just moisturized. So, but yeah, that's why. And you're right, Brooklyn girl. You just continue to learn. Now, when I come out next week, what am I going to learn? I don't know, but I'm going to learn something. When I go fish all night, what am I going to learn? I don't know, but I'm going to learn something. I learned a lot just from night fishing. You know how your eyes have to adjust. What I have to find out though, I have a little stove and I have lots of wood at home. And I really have to find out, can I actually bring that wood with me and make a campfire? It would not be on the ground, but it's always good to find out the regulations. One guy said it's better to not ask, but ask for forgiveness or something like that. It was like, no, I'm going to find out for sure, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Even if I can't do that, I have a lot of lights and so forth. I'll still be able to see. But I want to do the fishing, and I want to do purify the water. Now you would think this lake that I'm going to, there are no gas motors. You can't use a gas motor. Everything is a trolling motor, canoe, kayak. So it won't be bad at all, you know. But the grill, I have the GeoPress. It's really nice. The mini Sawyer or the Sawyer mini, that's nice. But I don't think there's anything like actually boiling that water. And that's still not 100% proof, you know. But I think once you filter it, boil it, run it through a grill, put some aqua tablets in there. How much purification can you? And I just want to try it. I just want to try it because, you know, just see how it goes, you know. But yeah, I just bought some more aqua tablets. You know, after you keep them a year, it's not advisable to use them. And once you open them, make sure you use all of them. So, you know, I get them on a yearly basis. You know, I've disposed of more of them than I have actually used. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm looking forward to that. Some overnight fishing this week. I really, truly got to get out and do an overnighter. Looking at my schedule, so it's going to be hard, but that's the true test. The true test is staying out overnight. Um, because I know for me, I exert a lot of energy because when you're going to stay out overnight, it is imperative. Well, for me, it's imperative that I have enough wood. I know I've heard anyone just says, oh, in the summertime, I don't need any wood. Well, that can be true, that, you know, but I like wood as a security. Um, just keeping things away. I like the wood as a security. So I keep a fire going all night, and once I have that fire, I just like watching it. So when it comes to sleeping at night, I don't get much sleep, and I'm always planning on leaving like 11, 12 the next morning. Daylight, it's like I want something to eat. I want some oatmeal, some coffee, and then I'm ready to go. But staying overnight by yourself, it is a lot of work, and it's just something you have to develop. Now, when you're with other people, as I've been before, it's totally different. Even though some people may not want to process a lot of wood, or I remember I went out once, and I don't think they really wanted to process a lot of wood, so I had the fire near me. But first thing in the morning, they were at that fire. And I did a bushcraft night with this other gentleman once, and it was like clockwork. Every hour, either he was putting wood on the fire, I slept, or either I was putting wood on the fire and he slept. I mean, there was no verbal communication. It's just like, it just, it went really, really well. And I wish I could get hold of that guy. So, Anthony, if you ever see this video, the bushcraft is looking for you and would love to do another bushcraft night. Do the turkey hunt, bushcraft night, do the turkey hunt the next day. So if you ever see this video, hey, contact me. But yeah, guys, this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't have to worry about the fire. All I have to do is just pack up and leave no trace. That's another thing. It's like, and that's somewhat difficult when you dig a fire pit, and then you've got to fill that back up, put the leaves back over it and everything. And I'm going to mark this tree because I had it marked, and I took the marker down when I got here. But I'm going to mark this tree again, so when I'm coming in, I know exactly where I'm going to park, and I know I'm going to leave my compass as is. My compass will bring me directly here, and with this tree being marked, I'll know this is the area that I'm coming to. So it's good to like visit the areas that you want to stay overnight. Um, get used to the surroundings. There's like I said, I'm looking at all. There are not as many large logs as I'd like, because you get those large logs, man, they burn all night. But I'll have to get a lot. They have some good sized logs that I'll harvest. I'm looking at one now that's leaned over, but and always check to make sure you're not sitting up under a widowmaker. You don't want to be sitting up under your shelter and something comes down. So yeah, guys, but I'm not gonna hold you guys much longer. I'm going to start gathering all my things and putting them away and start to sweat again. I can't. When it was drizzling early, man, it felt so good because I said, if it starts to rain, I'm going to be right up under here. My fire is going to be protected, and I'm going to be in good shape. But it didn't rain, but I bet you anything we'll get rain about 2 or 3 in the morning. So we'll see. But even going fishing, if it rains, that's good as well. But yeah, and on the fishing, real quick, my favorite fishing is bass fishing. I like the challenge. Can I get my lure up under those branches? Things like that. Or you can somewhat read the water, know the water, if the tide's going in, out, or you find out where there's structure, and you find out by losing rubber worms or things like that. Find out where you're going to get hung up. But the area that I'm going to, I've been there many times, so I know the structure and so forth. But I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here, get everything together, and I will see you on the next adventure. Hey, guys, so leave a comment, hype the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Virginia Bushcrafter signing out. Take care, everyone. All right, She Devil. Take care.